Geopolitical events. Geopolitical events are not some incidents which are occurring in isolation, but they are part of a larger puzzle. A puzzle which has potential to change the way global landscape looks and beyond. In the year 2024 also, we have witnessed various such incidents, each of which has potential to change the way the world looks, or we can say that to change the way 2025 will look. My name is Lalit Soni and you are watching Drishti IAS. In this video, we will be talking about top 10 geopolitical events which has potential to change the fate of the world in 2025. You must have seen that there are various incidents, be it Israel-Hamas war, be it Russia-Ukraine, be it the elections of a president in USA, otherwise also China's economy, etc. All these pieces of puzzle putting together, you will be seeing that they have potential to change the way world looks. So here we'll be starting with the first incident, that is the president's election in USA. You know that after the Cold War era, you must have seen that there was this rise of hegemony of USA. But in recent time, we have seen that countries like China are actually threatening that hegemony. Now, election of Donald Trump, or the second time when Donald Trump will be coming to the power, we are looking for some kind of policy changes which will be happening from the Joe Biden's administration. Okay, so let's see what kind of things we are hoping for. First, we will be seeing the impact on the world. Okay, you know that he has a policy that is inward looking, that is America first policy, or you can say some kind of protectionism can be witnessed over there. That is one thing. Second thing is he has issues with respect to the illegal immigrants. Okay, that is there. H1B visa, that is also something which we have to look for. Now, these are some of the things other than the China factor. Now, China factor is one of the important, you can say, aspect of Donald Trump's regime, which we can witness. When we are talking about the China, Donald Trump sees China as a threat. Okay. And when we are talking about China, encountering China in the Indo-Pacific region, India becomes significant for USA. That is why we will be seeing that some kind of, you can say, positive sign in the India-US relations, except for the trade related patterns. Okay, because when we are talking about the trade, you know that he has some kind of obsession with the tariffs. Okay, various time Donald Trump has said that India is the tariff king. Okay, so similarly we'll be seeing that on the trade front we might see some kind of protectionism, but otherwise also when we are talking about the China factor, so we'll be seeing that there will be some kind of positive advantage India will have with respect to that. Okay. Now, surviving an assassination attempt during a campaign in rally in July, Trump staged a dramatic comeback. He secured a second presidential term amidst polarized political climate in the domestic USA. His anti-climate and anti-migrant rhetoric. Now, anti-climate. Last time he has walked out of the climate change agreement. And when we are talking about the anti-migrant rhetoric also, he has some, you can say, reserved opinion about the migrants. Okay, so that is something which we will be looking forward in the when we are talking about the Trump's administration. Okay, other than that, recently he has talked about H1B visa. He has said that now he is in the favor of H1B visa because you can say a closest ally, that is Elon Musk. He said that he is in the, you can say, favor of H1B visa. So on that front, India will be safe because India has a lot of skilled labor which we are providing to USA. Okay, so on H1B visas front, we may be seeing some kind of policy change, okay, from the last term. But this time also we will be seeing some kind of issue with respect to illegal immigrants. Other than that, China factor will always stay in the US's policy making. Okay. Potential shift in the US foreign policy under Trump raised concerns among allies as well as the adversarial alike. Okay. Now, when we are talking about the allies, we like India is an ally. Okay. So we'll be, wary about the trade related aspects. On the other hand, countries like Russia, Turkey, they are also not very sure about the, you can say, what will this regime bring to them. Okay. So that is about USA. Now, as I told you, USA's politics will be having some kind of impact everywhere. Similarly, China's economy will have that kind of impact everywhere. Okay. Why? Because when we are talking about China, China has been a part of global supply chain and a crucial and important part of the global supply chain, considering the kind of export they are doing, the kind of manufacturing power they are having. Okay. But recently what has been witnessed that China is going through a slowdown. In the past few months, we have seen that China is going through a slowdown, but now China is focusing on a export oriented economy. Okay, because the domestic demand is poor, China is going through a shock because the domestic demand is very low, and because of which they are looking for the exports. Okay, now their market, they are driven by the export, but recently you must have seen that there are some of the you can say areas wherein China has said that they will be restricting the exports, be it the rare earth materials, etc., wherein they have the competitive advantage. They have said that they will not go for the exports, but they are still providing for the cheap market products in the other countries. They are flooding it in the other countries. Okay, so that is there. But China is facing some kind of economic shock, and because of this economic shock, if we are talking about the economic slowdown in China will have an impact on the world. Why? Because it is the part of, or the crucial part of, the global supply chain. Okay, India has made a list of nearly 30 you can say metals. Okay, out of which for 10 metals we are dependent on China. Like more than 90% of the exports or you can say imports of these particular, you can say, metals are coming from China. Okay, so that is the case. This is how we are having the integration of Chinese materials in the global market. Okay, when we are talking about the global supply chain now, countries like you can say, when we are talking about Quad, etc., they are going for the resilient supply chain. Okay, why? Because they do not want to depend too much on China. Okay, after COVID also we have seen that because the supply was very less from the Chinese side, we have somehow suffer in the global markets. Okay, after years of slowdown growth, China re-embraced its export driven economic model. Now, as we are talking about the years of the slowdown which was there, now they are looking for the export oriented economic model. In 2015 also they have gone for similar approach. Okay, nations like USA, India, European Union imposed tariffs to counter China's aggressive pricing strategies. The scenario mirrored in 2015 China shock, reviving debates about the fragility of the global supply chain, which we have already talked about. Okay, so this is about USA, this is about China. Now we will be talking about the other factors. That is basically 1000 days of the Ukraine war. Now, when we are talking about the Ukraine war, the third big player is there, that is Russia. Russia has gone for annexation of Crimea in 2014, and recently in 2022 they have gone for the some kind of attack on Ukraine, and after that this war is continuing. Recently we have witnessed 1000 days of this war. Now, global community is kind of pressurizing to go for a ceasefire, to go for some kind of solution. Okay, even Russia is saying that they are willing to do it, but on their own terms. Recently, Slovakia has actually offered to conduct some kind of peace talks, and Russia has agreed. Other than that, also USA, etc., are also being part of this particular issue. When we are talking about the stakeholders, USA has been active, playing an active role over here. European Union is playing active role over here, because you must have seen that USA is providing arms and ammunition. EU is supporting the Ukraine. Other than that, when we are talking about Russia, North Korea, countries like North Korea and China, they are, you can say, somehow helping Russia in this war. Okay, now global pressure increased for a ceasefire, but the neither side is willing to compromise on the key territorial demands. Okay, as I told you, Russia wants to go for the negotiation, but on their own demands. Similarly, Ukraine is, you can say, open for the negotiation, but on their own demands. Okay, then the prolonged war continued with heavy casualties and the destruction, particularly to Ukraine's power infrastructure. The US approved long-range missile for Ukraine in November, signaling continued international involvement. Peace talks remained elusive, and the return of the Trump as US president hinted the reduced American military support for Ukraine. As I told you, most of the time you will be seeing that Trump will be looking inward, and they will not be providing some kind of support. When we are talking about the similar situation which was there in Afghanistan, Trump has retreated from Afghanistan. Okay, so we will be seeing that what happens to Ukraine in 2025. Other than that, as I told you about the peace talks, so there was one event which happened in 2024, that was Swiss peace talks with respect to Russia-Ukraine war. So that was not conclusive because nothing could come out of it, because Russia was not part of it. Okay, now coming to the next one. Here you can see this is a map of Ukraine that will become important for you, because when we are talking about the, you can say, global situations, map plays a key role. So here you can see Russia, Ukraine. Now, why is that Russia is, trying to have this particular territory? Because they want access to the sea, okay, to the Black Sea. And after that, Turkey is also important for Russia, because if they want to go through this particular route towards the Mediterranean and towards the other part of the world, because you know that Russia's top side, or the northern side, is basically blocked because of the ice caps. Okay, now here you will be seeing that Black Sea becomes important. That is why Ukraine becomes important. Other than that also, Ukraine is actually having a fertile soil. So for agriculture also, Ukraine becomes important. Okay. Now here you will be seeing that Black Sea, and then Turkey becomes important for Russia because of the one, you can say, kind of maritime route it is there from the Istanbul if we talk about. So that is why this area becomes important for Russia. Now if we talk about the, you can say, borders over here, so you will be saying that Ukraine is sharing border with Russia, Belarus, Poland, Slovakia, Hungary, Romania, Moldova, and here you can see this is the part of your Black Sea and this is Russia again. Okay, so that is important for you to remember. Now let's move further to the next one, that is basically axis of autocracies. Now there are various you can say global powers which are autocrats in nature. Okay, so here you can say China, Russia, Iran, North Korea depends on their deepens their alliances, focusing on the military cooperation and the technological advancement. Now against whom? Okay, they are basically, you know, forming alliances to counter the Western allies. Okay, Western countries, you can say Western allies, you can say, or sometimes you can say the Western democracies as well. Western democracies has this tendency to impose democracy everywhere. So they are strengthening their, you can say, alliance over here, that is called as axis of autocracies. China, Russia, Iran, North Korea. Here you will be seeing that all of them are some kind of autocrats which are there, or you can say the regimes there are some kind of reserved, and the you can say few liberties are there. Okay, so that is axis of autocracies. These nations aim at challenging the USA-led world order and the countering NATO's influence. So basically they are trying to reduce the hegemony of USA. Joint military exercise and the shared strategies reflect a concerted effort to consolidate power against the democratic nations. Okay, so this is about axis of autocracy. Here you can see Iran, then Russia, then North Korea and China. These are the countries which are considered as the axis of autocracy. Now moving further, Middle East upheaval. Now there is nothing much to talk about this particular topic because you must be aware about it. Okay, you must be aware about the Israel-Hamas war. You must be aware about the Israel's effort in Lebanon, Israel against Hezbollah, Israel against Houthis. Okay, Syria, you must have seen recent incidents over there. Okay, so all these things are there. Okay, that is with respect to the Middle East. Now you know that 7th October 2023. This is the time when Hamas has gone for some kind of attack on Israel. And after that, Israel has retaliated and they have said that they will be eliminating Hamas altogether from the Gaza area. Okay. Since then, this war is still continuing. Recently, there was some kind of hope with respect to the peace which was there. But still, there was some kind of ceasefire which was there. But again, there was violations which has been seen. Okay. So here you can say the aftermath of the Hamas 23 attack led to a broader conflict involving Israel, Iran, Hezbollah and the regional allies. Now why we are talking about the Israel and Iran over here? Because Iran is somehow involved with the, you can say there is this axis of resistance which is there, okay, which is including Hezbollah, Houthis and Hamas. Okay, so that is why Iran is indirectly or directly involved. Again, you will be seeing that Israel and Iran has always has some kind of differences. Okay, then other regional allies are also being part of it. Okay, we have seen Lebanon etc. being in the war. Prominent leaders like Syed Hassan Nasrallah and Yahya Sinwar were neutralized. While the Israel secured regional dominance, the humanitarian crisis in Gaza raised international alarm. Efforts for the peace talk remained stalled amid escalating tensions. As I told you, there was some kind of peace which was offered over here, but then again there was some violations which has also been witnessed. Now we will be seeing that what will happen after the ascent of Donald Trump as president of USA. With USA President Donald Trump promising to mediate, the region's future remains uncertain. So in 2025, we will be talking about this again. Then here you can see when we are talking about Israel. Okay, so here this is your Gaza Strip where Hamas are there. Then you will be seeing that this is your Lebanon. In the South Lebanon, they have Hezbollah, which is also against Israel. Then here you will be seeing that when we are talking about this particular arrow, this is from Yemen. In Yemen, we have Houthis. Okay, so you will be seeing that in Syria also recently we have seen the fall of Assad's government. So that is also in some kind of political chaos which was there. Iraq is going through similar situations and Iran has been witnessing issues from USA. So that is the situation in Middle East. Now when we are talking about the axis of resistance, that is basically an axis which is against Israel and the presence of USA in this area. Okay, this is mostly backed by Iran. That is why it is called as the Iran's axis of resistance. Here you can see Lebanon has Hezbollah which is backed by Iran. Hamas are also backed by Iran. And when we are talking about the Yemen's Houthi rebels, which has created chaos in the Red Sea area, which are also supported by Iran. Okay, so you can remember that axis of resistance has three players over here: Hamas, Hezbollah, and Houthis. Okay, now moving further here, Assad's ouster in Syria. Recently, you have seen that there was a fall of 50 years old regime in under the president Masad al-Assad. Okay, so in December 2024, there was this fall of the government, and the opposition rebel, that is Hayat Tahrir al-Sham. This is an organization which has taken the control of the prominent cities over here, and now they have actually established a government. Okay, then the you can say that president over there, he has to actually flee towards Russia. Okay, so that was some of the incidents which has happened in Syria. When we are talking about Syria, there are various players which are there, which we will be seeing in the next slide over here. So when we are talking about Syria, there are various players. One is your Assad's government, which was there and which has fallen. And then here you can see in this northern region, there is this Kurdish militia, which is there. Now this Kurdish militia is essentially against Turkey. Okay, this region over here, Kurd region, which is there, and there is this Kurdish people which are living, and they have some kind of issue with Turkey. They want to have some kind of autonomy over here, and that is why they are having presence in this area, and somehow they are present in the northern part of Syria. Okay, so here we have Kurdish militia, and this Kurdish militia is basically against Turkey. So Turkey wants them to be eliminated from this region. Okay, now when we are talking about the Assad's regime, we have seen, and against this particular regime, we have this opposition rebel, that is HST. Okay, so here the name is given, that is Hayat Tahrir al-Sham. Okay, HTS, sorry, not HST, that is HTS. So that is there. Other than that, also there are other players like USA has some kind of interest. USA is supporting Kurdish people. Okay, when we are talking about this Assad regime, that was being supported by Iran and Russia. Okay, which was there. So somehow you will be seeing that is also an ally, which was when we are talking about the Syria was an ally of Russia and Iran earlier, but now there is this opposition government which is there. Now opposition government which is under STS, that is having some kind of affiliation from Al-Qaeda. Okay, earlier USA used to support these opposition rebels, but then they had the good terms with Al-Qaeda. That is why USA stopped supporting them, and USA is now supporting the Kurdish people. Okay, now one more thing I would like to discuss over here is that why is that Turkey is so important for USA. And when we are talking about the this particular region, as I told you, these Kurdish people are there, and USA is supporting these Kurdish people, so that you can say Turkey, right now Turkey is under some kind of influence of Russia, though Turkey is a NATO member, but it is close with Russia right now, and that is why USA is supporting these Kurdish people. Okay, so now if you look at this particular map, I will tell you why this Turkey part is important. Now, as I told you that Russia wants access to the Black Sea and to the Mediterranean Sea, and for that will require Ukraine, because Ukraine has some kind of working ports over here. And then coming to the next part, that is for the Mediterranean, Turkey becomes important for Russia. Okay, now to get through this particular area of Istanbul, they would need that Turkey should be in favor of Russia, and that is why right now you will be seeing that Turkey and Russia are having very good relations. Okay, now coming to the USA, why is that USA is so much of interest? First thing is Turkey is a NATO member. USA in this area wants to have a sway. That is why they have come up with the North Atlantic Treaty Organization. Now this particular country is going away from you can say USA. That is why it is of prominent interest for USA. First thing. Second thing is, if Russia gets access to the Mediterranean, that means that Russia will thrive on trade. Okay, and USA does not want that. Okay, that is why this area, this Turkey, becomes important for USA as well as Russia. Okay, now let's move further, because here you can see Turkey is only country which is half in Europe, half in Asia. Okay, most of that is in Asia, but some part of there is which are there in the Europe as well. Now coming to the next part over here, that is martial law drama in South Korea. Now in South Korea, there was this president, former president I would say, and he has imposed martial law. Name of the president was Hoon Suk Yeol. Okay, he has imposed martial law, saying that the opposition is making some kind of alliance with the North Korea, and that is a threat to the democracy in South Korea. So he has imposed some kind of martial rule over there. that was short-lived because the parliament has revoked the martial law and they have come up with the impeachment motion against Yoon Suk Yeol. Okay, and after that he was impeached and the new, you can say, president was appointed, that is Han Duck Show. Okay, but recently he was also been impeached. Okay, so ultimately the political situation in South Korea is not very good, and that is what we have discussed over here. Now the problem is that South Korea's position if weakens, that means that North Korea can have a create some kind of chaos over there as well. Okay, so when we are talking about the Korean peninsula, here you can see in this particular picture, this is the North Korea, this is South Korea. North Korea is under influence of communism, or you can say Russia, and South Korea is basically under USA's influence. That is the Cold War legacy, you can say. Now there is this demilitarized zone between the two countries over here. Okay, and this peninsula is naturally divided by the 38th parallel. Okay, so please remember this part as well. Okay, so that is about South Korea and the martial law. Now moving further to the next one, Sheikh Hasina's flight and the Bangladesh unrest. Now when we are talking about the Bangladesh, there was some kind of issue with respect to the reservation, and that reservation issue has actually become so big that the students over there were protesting, and because of the result of these protests, there was something, you can say, the kind of violence which has started, and the then Prime Minister of Bangladesh, that is PM Sheikh Hasina, she has to actually find asylum in India. Okay, now there are issues with respect to extradition, etc., which are there between India and Bangladesh right now. That is not important, but the thing is, you will be seeing that the government has fallen in Bangladesh. There was this coup which was there, and right now Bangladesh is under Prime Minister Yunus. Okay, so that is there. In August, widespread student protest against controversial quota system. This quota system was in favor of the Mukti Jodhas, or those people who were there in the fight for the independence of 1971 in Bangladesh. Okay, for Bangladeshi Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina to resign and flee to India, her resignation left Bangladesh in chaos. With rising inflation and the political violence, Islamist factions gain prominence, aiding to the nation's instability. Now when we are talking about why it is important, because of the Islamist faction or the Islamist extremism which might rise in this particular region, because there is some kind of political chaos which is going on. During the regime of PM Sheikh Hasina, they have controlled these Islamist factions over there. Okay, so that is one kind of you can say issue which will be prominent, which we might see in the future 2025 as well. Then anti-incumbency wave. So there are various countries which are seeing that the current government has been changed into some other you can say political parties are coming into power. When we are talking about the current government, the people are not very happy because of various reasons. One can be economic dissatisfaction, public disillusionment, or the, you can say, economic policies, be it corruption, etc. Because of which there are various countries which is saying overthrow of the government in the elections. Okay, so here you will be seeing that Argentina, Poland, Greece has saw voters demands change in the leadership. Then in UK also you must have seen that parties has changed, the power has been shifted to another party. In the France also you must have seen that similar incidents has happened. Okay, so Germany, Sri Lanka, Pakistan has also witnessed some kind of events. So you can see that all over the world some kind of anti-incumbency wave is going on, which is basically against the ruling parties, current ruling parties over there. They want change in the leadership. Okay, so that is one of the thing which is witnessed around the globe. Now moving further with the next one, space race resurgence. Okay, now you must have seen that USA is going for various satellites, Russia is going for various satellites, China is going for satellites, India is going for various satellites. Other than that also European Union, Japan, they are also sending satellites. Okay, now the thing is, because of which there is a race which has started. Now problem is that in the future there might be a chance the conventional war, whatever war or you can say the type of wars which we are facing right now, they might extend to the space as well. Okay, so we might see something like that in future as well. Okay, if they are not regulated or if there is no such treaty with respect to that. Okay, so here you can say Japan, China undertook ambitious space exploration missions, signaling their technological advancement. NASA and the European Space Agency achieved breakthrough in the planetary studies and the space engineering. However, increasing militarization of the space by the superpowers like USA, China led to rising concerns over the future conflicts extending beyond Earth. So there are chances that these conflicts might not stay till Earth only. They might go to space as well. Okay, so there are chances that right now people are targeting the, you can say, some kind of facilities like weapon facilities or the nuclear facilities. There are high chances that they might go for the targeting satellites as well. Okay, so that is one trend which we might see in the future as well. Now coming to the next one, climate crisis worsens because of the, you can say, global warming, because of the emissions, etc. Climate crisis is worsening, and you know that there is a north south divide which is there. Other than that also there is this when we are talking about the uh, southern world, okay, or the developing world which is there, so they are asking for some kind of technological advancement, technology transfer, and the finance for the climate related aspects. But the thing is, the developed world is not willing to do that, okay. So that is one of the issue which we'll be seeing in the future. With the President Donald Trump coming into power, there are high chances that we might get derailed from the process which we are trying to go for the adaptation and the mitigation of the climate change, because he is not a believer of the anthropogenic climate change, okay. So because of which you must have seen that in the last term he has actually walked out of the Paris climate change agreement, okay, and Joe Biden has again re-entered. But right now there are chances that he might do something like that as well. Now countries like USA, if they go out of such climate agreements, then there is a problem, because these are considered as the, you can say, most responsible for the you can say climate change related activities, okay. So that is there. 2024 was recorded as the hottest year in the history, with catastrophic wildfire, flood, drought, wreaking havoc, etc. Here you can say key nations at the COP29 failed, because when we are talking about the COP29, the recent conference of parties, they have not gone for any kind of conclusive you can say mechanism. So that is some kind of failure which has been seen on the part of the international community with respect to the climate change. Public protest demanding urgent climate actions reached unprecedented level, but we can see that there might be change in the leadership in the world that might actually impact the process of the, you can say, adaptation and mitigation with respect to the climate change as well, okay. So these are some of the important things which we have discussed with respect to the geopolitical events which has happened in 2024 and which might impact the fate of 2025 as well. Now there is a practice question for you which you have to attempt and answer to me. Which of the following is not a member of Axis of Resistance: Hezbollah, Hamas, Saudi Arabia and Iran? You can attempt this question, answer to me in the comment box. With that, I would like to take your leave. I'll see you somewhere else. Have a nice day. Thank you.
For more informative content, like, share and subscribe, and do not forget to press the bell icon to get the notifications.